ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. Here he is, Beichen Gao, everybody!
Actually, no, Game of Thrones was kind of bad at the end. But yeah, I'm actually here to talk to you about two of the things that's literally taken over my life for the past few months. First thing is being in the lab, antibodies, that's what I work on. So antibodies are these little Y-shaped molecules that basically direct your immune system to find what to attack. You know, if you have foreign invaders like viruses, bacteria, they're the ones that point the way, but they don't come from nowhere. They're actually made by these things called B cells. B cells have to go through a very specific set of steps to be able to make these antibodies. And, you know, they start from something that's so inexperienced, they turn into these powerful heroes that give you long-term immunity. And, I mean, I could talk about this all night, but it's not really as interesting as this other thing, which is Dungeons and Dragons. Basically, this game is, I heard a few cheers. Basically, it's a game where anybody can come in, make a character, and you can start from your average person, like any of you out in the seats. And through experience, you learn to grow and you become a hero of the realms. You're, you know, renowned and you can go out and slay dragons. So I thought this would be an interesting way to explain things, you know, the journey of the B cell. So I need all of you guys to help me out. Dungeons and Dragons takes a bit of imagination, so you can either picture yourself as our hero, the B cell, whose, you know, their main aim is to use the antibodies to go out and destroy these antigens like the foreign invaders. Or, you know, you can picture yourself as a hero. And now, like all good D&D stories, they start in a tavern somewhere. You're just relaxing with your friends. You've always dreamed about going out and killing monsters. You know, you bought a sword last week. You're not really sure how to use it yet, but you know, you're so naive and thinking about all the great things you're going to become. And all of a sudden, you hear this crash in the earth, and you know, you hear this roar in the distance, and running footsteps. What's going on? What's going on? You and your friends, some of them pick up a spear and axe, their own weapons, you have your sword, and you run out, and you're faced with the scene of destruction. There's fire burning everywhere. Somebody runs by you and they're like, oh no, they finally attacked the influenza demons! And you look around and there are these innocent citizens who are getting attacked. And you run up with your friends. One of them takes up the spear and tries to attack them, but it doesn't seem to work. You know, the bow, their arrows also bounce off, but really you run up with your sword and you sort of take a mighty swing and it cleaves right through them. It seems to be effective for some reason. And this is the first time that you've met these demons. And from that you've learned that swords are what needs to be used. And so you run around, you tell everybody else. You tell them, look, don't use anything else. Grab swords, arm yourselves, protect us, protect the city. And so you expand and you find these bigger groups that can follow you. And you start to push back against these demons, right? So you start to gain some ground, you're rescuing your city. And this process could take a long time, maybe a few weeks. Again, we've seen Game of Thrones, it's like 4 episodes, which is a month. Right at this point, the B cell, in scientific terms, would start to divide. And while they're dividing, they're also doing something else. Because during their time, of course you're smart and you're thinking, like, I can make my swords be more effective. I can make it sharper. Or I could go find a wizard to make it a flaming sword. You know, I don't know why I seem to like fire a lot for this presentation. But anyways, over time, this sword becomes something that's unique to you. You can name it something like Fire Bane or Fire Sword because you're so creative. But with the sword, you're more experienced. Take that experience with you, you take that courage that you learned, And crafting this weapon, you might find different ways to use it. You might find that you can throw it further away and hit the monsters from a distance or something like this. So you gain these new skills as you finally reach maturity and you become a hero of your own. So now when you stand in a battlefield, people follow you. You're cutting through these demons. Right? You are the hero of the city. And people speak tales about you. And at this point, you've earned so much reputation that you can do some other things to help protect your city, even after the siege has ended. Right? The demons are gone, you've saved the day. Now what are you going to do next? You can either... Oh no, my clicker. You can either decide to go back to the forge where ding, 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 you're making all of these copies of your swords, you know they're effective, and you're handing them out to everybody, just in case if they attack again. You can expand your reach that way, much like a plasma cell. It makes a lot of antibodies. Or you could be that one who stands guard, always watching in the distance to see if those monsters appear again. You'll be ready to jump into action faster, better with these weapons. And that's what gives this city, or maybe your body, this long-term immunity that you need to withstand more diseases and sicknesses if they come your way again. So again, this is not only the journey of, the hero that we talked about, or maybe the hero that you imagined in your head, but also this is the process that the B cells go through to be able to give you that immunity and that defense. So now the question is, what's gonna happen when this thing shows up at your door? And for that, I think that's gonna take a little bit more than 8 minutes. So all I can say is maybe I'll save that for the next Science Slam. But yeah, for now, I would like to thank you for joining me on this imaginary adventure.